Etina see mwana Kofi Kinata airdrop nyumbi. It is finished. I will say it is finished. It will say Enra on United Showbiz. Aba Anamoah set a record straight on it and be do bad to Moamo. Almost set a record straight. Omuchirem say African Yinano. I will say Otumfuo is the greatest, in fact, the most greatest king ever to live on the land of Africa. In fact, omu conversation Enra it's so interesting. Mema onchirimu no achire wadwen amame e comment section. Aha yi Penyah Block Media. Mesra say any demo. Obe like if you do not that my subscribe button so click the notification icon latest update. Time achire wadwen dey amame e comment section. Mesra so baso no a share for so enya bi ahwe. Eti last week nya adna say ye asante himado ti ye no. Why say start no kwasiara say ne ye e start ye e ne dey bobo so a ko wie ya wade twam no. Ti ya wada no say ye ko pe abrewa kura ewo ban mu. Say you go pen crab the honor. Now here say the programs call ya amamere any amani e course. In fact, Asante culture was in a high display. And Asante culture is so aesthetic. Fankasa. Asante culture there. Wow, what tane bi ana. Mami hwe. Okay. Debi obake, debi enyi obake. Ye be fansa. Asante culture in fact na pa ema enema horrible na cause after that social media then pem because any age ebo ye urabas o ye uraya de because Asante culture na da honum enye culture ketwa Asante for ya de ankasa even to the point say mali hima akora ba o say me hu mali hima oh me some crowd oh man go be on oh there o mo invite me say mali hima e baby ana culture na na ko ne wi ase nyina wa Asante mamu last you know it was so interesting say over thousands of people, 100,000 of people about dumping Mohono, but at the end of the day, no. Obian who reported said, Yetia me nice umpo. I said, oh, Debbie, you say, yeah, Juma. What I say, because any part be now about dumping, but yeah, it's ya will be crowd now to say, I'm not complaining. Now, Bibia added that I community and to a guaquemu, I bibia, come. Now was a yearly tremon, Anna Enra, United Showbiz so. MCI Yabua, but no chumwa, and bedu. Anyway, Miamo, acquired the issue. In fact, Aba Anamoah, passes some comment here. It's so interesting.
Yeah, opportunity, no. Okay. Ebia ne bi besa ba na che. Okay. Nti no ebia nkase se ebetimi akrokra mfoni a manfo twitwaye. Ti se de anod ka se bia opimso ewo omoa Facebook page no yebetimi akohwe sa no na yetimi aka normal we nyina bom na abeye nsenkaye ne bia mamre bia yinchirima so beden ebenya akonya asua yesi eye yo nkra hwesem funeral tourism be pacho ehun few ehun hia banya ye bia me na kwaku nti amawu no utin va nkoye tourism why not because you bought tent 8 pe
that's matter
oh ebi ana ntoma mudi be fra no ntoma no wo
ntoma dada na dem fra mama but ebetimi eyi bi ti say na ye de ni mom ahyase na se tum ponwa na afi ye hu kwan be fa so a ye bebi okay ya kan we had several times say eye dwuma eye business
business
in
a business
of course
okay who share yase right from planning stage to execution. Yes, business in Kwansika. The ecosystem is so huge. So what more can cry one for Mukra can plans on PK4 actually I want you man wasn't an list him out baby Sankofu we nyina ba obia nya business obia no ma onya no ma ton ba won wa ye di dwuma de hye won san so asusu wa dwuma mo ye amen entuma na hu se fra bebre na no sabi bebre na no mo anto ye rent me kwa ye bi se am rent
oh like
yeah
kunkunu na
yeah because nye da bia na obehia eti bebre na no ye wo ye wo ba bi ekọ rent sa no ba ntuma kwa bebre ho
e ma ka ba no kra pam dada
rent bebre na ye rent
if na affair
eti obia ni nyina ye business
education for particular funerals be to say na
ye rent and I say
a
year bia.
Oh really?
Because the tell say and you be no wo sika
so omusun kura
yeah the way like
mami ode
such an
example
mami ode minipa me pass mama me
feeling it
put the one I buy one also permasama now baba me yase aputo
bronya su dua no say yourself kwa we oji di bronya de
eti no ye betimi efasa akonya we so na ke ye de aye enye friends and tourism akasem kakra efrim
okay
se bia na obi medi ayewe eye fatu hui obi wo ho a no onko aye se bi da e bia na wo free baby foforo na aba e bia no ndru asantima mu krada etu owi aye we ya e bia no wo da ba ko bi o de dwodwo no ho e bia no da ba ko bi edwodwo no ho ko betimi so afasa akonya no so e de ahwa asantima ko wate se e ekrowe no ye se enshrin doors ekrowe mu na ehfa ne wo obetimi anya sa akonya no e na ye de no so to nkyere no obi nso wo ho a na onim kwan ya efa so hihye ayi onso betimi akosua saade na firo eti saade na papa no kan na nke ya de efe but em said the odi be kan ho na akose kitire bini ene se o se ye de nkrofo kwa na ya to sobulo me to we dia so ahon dia say efe odie ba di hia ho ama dodo na akofa afe odie no na obi ya di hia ni free ho but me sure say ke fa ni ye di a nka yebetimi aye ne kakra na nka de mpuntu abre etino yesre nyame se onfaye na esie emaye na obi bia so a de ho hye ma ade afei ekoso asantemam de ohweye bia no nyame enhye na namu emaye de nyame ase se ya anti asemboni bia anti kan kwanhye bia ya anti se bibia si bibia kotote na ade a se mode mo adwene si so mede ma no si baako eye sunsumu nsem a ekoso no aya mo hwehwe akiri na mo fo mo adwene si so na mo hwehwe ubesua no ma bebre wo ya asemsi a ya konfo bebre a mo ba be kire won ebi nso so ba e ba be ye amamre a also mo ye because of bosom kra wo mo esom menim se ma me atwere ba ko bi menka esa ma yi ne kasa bo afri ne yam but ye wo bi mu nso so a senye bibi se ne besi a wo hu ne da
they don't come out
wompie mo hwehwe sa no na musumu nsua ba kosem na ema ye nyina ye medase
we share the level of organization and orderliness course in the last 4 days now and so bo institution abaso and I saw a few comments be omoka say Mencia seems to be one of the most organized institutions I owe on my way and that's a fact now the surprising kakra no wo hwe sena Mencia tena na nkomode culture and tradition on be upholding but modernity or more the best can ho class are more attached to what is perceived to be old school, you know, old culture, old traditional. That was very impressive. Now this era way social media it was center stage, you know, and can we expect Mencia to actually, you know, double in social media, you know, leanings, but they did it expertly. Empress obe ya we say Mencia ankasa na wo ni social media pages
meaning
among exclusive shots. And what is interesting is that they don't just give you the shots. I mean, go and compare Mencia Palace photography. Quality.
It's really nice.
Quality.
Really nice.
And when they give you the shot, they explain, they educate you as to what is being, you know, shown to you. Brilliant. It's, you know, every other person can go and shoot, and they give certain parameters. For her, or your blogger, you understand? You say, and they had their own photography. It's not like they left it for Obiakeke. It's a open Papa Noah. You know exactly where to go. Mencia, you know, palace photography. They even had videography. I think it's a palace view.
Oh, TikTok. Yeah.
Palace view. No, seriously. They are really prepared, and you cannot figure out say omo young guys be a omo boa.
Omo the innovative.
And for them to buy into the Mencia, philosophy, and add omo skills to it, that's brilliant. And if every, tradition, and I say, we be yes, I did now, because what we saw in the last 4 days, spectacular. Idea we are sentiment now, but it's almost like a national event. And obi or matter beyond eco-ideas. From politics to clergy to commerce to where Obia went through it. And the exhibition of culture and tradition. Yo.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. You hate saying that there will be one you would admire. There will be one picture.
Nothing to hate.
No, seriously. There will be one picture or one video there before we so you just have to clap and admire. And we took them share organization, and I mean how they were able to organize it with that precision and that level of organization.
What's your service in the house?
No, but this was brilliant. Brilliant.
It was brilliant.
No,
what the organization, the execution was.
Yes.
And I think that, Otumfuo has to be entered into the Guinness Book of Records for sitting down to take handshakes for 48 hours.
And with that, there's someone sitting next to him or standing south. There's someone there.
I mean, it's historical.
Traditional.
No, it's historical.
Yeah.
It has to be
a traditional account.
Yeah, but then you be answer not chiano. Ebi mo high mom you now what bend it down say now what yes of course.
Still he was seated.
Yeah.
The entire time.
So no monsieur me who so sorry.
He was seated.
Yeah. Sorry, I am
They are already busy.
Yeah, what time I already what idea
Already busy and so come on.
Oh yeah. And Emma will be the same. Emma will be the same. Oh, who be where they are to me mouth. So we did Nicosiana, Uncle Johnson, and Paso. Enjoy. More
psychological.
Oh, yes, psychological.
I have been so a more than bedroom more Habaya at the show. You at the show. Johnson.
Yeah.
Copping so be your friend. Obi or prostate cancer. I know.
But Empress, I mean,
I'm sorry for interrupting rudely.
It's fine. Empress, I mean, also can be said there was some level of unity because before Echo exit what they are in Cranford or they are. I mean, so when your opportunity and kind of you saw it last 4 days, show me there, and you see. If others maybe take a cue a little from SAR organization where Beboa, and I can see say government channel or buy and or put some structure to the, and it's brilliant.
Say yeah, grown training atadia tomorrow mufra. Bibi omuye wo hobia has to do with your creative space. No, na Kamia say raising conversations for social media concerning funeral tourism. Abind that no a boss so emrebi. Na me share na me hu se wo hwe de akoso yi eni nkyeremu a minister wotwemu yira a while de ba ye no a na se yan hyehyɛ ye niema yie because okwa America kwa ye wo cemetery bi a ye tourist site and kofoko emusie. I remember say metena ha ka say mayen toto na se because ubetumi all list tourists nyoma mo ya Arlington bibi cemetery. Yeah, nkofoko honom ekohwe awufu a ya yes ya de dom de dom tombs bi mu keke. Na me share story bi so TikTok na me hu Indonesia see community bi the Toraja community. Omo no wu a yensi opekupo ye preserve everybody na for long. Ni ahye omo ntade na edom be push nkofo adehia o mawu keke. Ba me share nchemu abanda dan de maaye no. Na kamia ye se omo se wakọ ayiye na wie no. Community hono say tourist sites bi wo ho ani afa bus abesi ho free bus ni esitina mu ni emfa nkonkochi kakra ni enkyerɛ say o de manya yi aba kwawi ade atomani a obɛbu amama yi na afi wasaba begina say o de bus esi o me nkɔ na moduano mabepo no so nko I mean and sync it well with the course no and I feel so bolobi bear moon I see about so a man for ridicule the whole concept of funeral tourism nana ye pesi because how would you tell obi awabejo obi ye say we ye Saturday or Sunday on besini enkoto I mean it didn't ye share the course I'm so saying ye say nyema ye a defining funeral tourism ni year a with this very one no naka will pick up from a hona ki hu baby a say no e de yebeko but ye ne try na be da social media in komobia en fata but elsewhere no like Indonesia instance na me just say people are visiting the place and ye tiesika to look at dead bodies I show mo atade aye omo makeup I preserve bodies so the conversation ongoing ye besre sisi a GTA Abeku Santana mo yenhu sa detailed plan for sa funeral because owo ne bataye amansan e bataye definitely obi be free mo and eye bia nse eye bia bibi sonko wo ma e bia busia bia odemu no there's always something to learn e be kama say the etimi ko America ko asie obi so fa plane in Braga na metro say the ye see adehye. It's something worth because it's costly. You see, open bits na si actually be BM1. It's a whole package on its own. A whole documentary. Look at these boys and almost swat a fundake. It became a whole sensation globally. Everybody was talking about Manti and said, almost swat daka mudia so much quotes bia and namema omu yes a movie or something around omu craft no. So ye bet me a ton a year no kama. But ye here say in Tremune be free. High power for no one ebe make sense say na be ya enkoye say oh akomphobia ti akoko bi tikeke na ye hwe na we are fascinated by it. Let us get people coming down because we hear den nipa bewu we hear den ye bewu nipa so I would say funeral tourism no we didn't get na bossini ye pa with omo label you know so after the labeling we need something more detailed because after you see week we na sample for bapa we say neko but there's a lot that we can sell to oman for nti say see ya kono dia ene amamre we say we see a package na itimi toma amount for be hwe.
Okay. I think the major failing for this funeral, I mean, you don't have to be an Ashanti to admire what happened there. I'm a Fanti. My mom is Eve. But you cannot take away the culture, the history, the tradition, the authority of the Ashanti kingdom. It's untouchable. It compares to none. You know, it compares to none. And you know, it's beautiful. And ye say adiwe this week it seems. If you, and I'm not criticizing the kingdom, I'm just criticizing the media. If you watch other funerals, and I have to bring in Queen Elizabeth's funeral, right? Or share on any channel, you had royal commentators who understood the nitty-gritties of the funeral. Omukuta trumpets way, it is symbolic. This is what it means. When you watch that funeral from Westminster Abbey, it is education from the beginning to the end. What we haven't done really well in Ghana is to specialize, specialize. There should be people who have authority over things like this. It doesn't have to necessarily be an Ashanti. Historians. Now, why we failed was that we have royal historians in this country. We have people who understand the tradition. They understand what happened. So what we could have done as media houses was to rope them in, because that's what happened with Queen Elizabeth. ITV had it, BBC had it, Sky had it, CNN, they all had it. It was education. And yes, Obi can't say, or TikTok, no, be so can, because the stories were too many, and at some point you didn't know which one to believe. It's in going forward, and I think this wasn't the main funeral, right?
Yeah,
this is not the main.
Where I found some where Dotty, I found son, I just yini for France.
No, you see, I didn't even know this. No, we have time to plan it properly. Say the bay coverage now. We're seeing multiple cameras. It's like cameraman will be crossing way because I'm watching what TV was a bit talking.
You should have watched UTV because it was like
seamless.
Hey, was
quick one exactly. Media house, because
yeah, it was live too. And you recorded. It was live.
There was an experienced person like Nana Yeboy.
Okay. Then that is excellent. Yeah. That is excellent. So going forward, the other media houses should watch and learn. You know, it's very important. Now to go back to the point Lexi made, very important points because we are not telling our stories. And I don't know how, and I know we're talking about National Film Dialogue. How do we compete with Hollywood, Bollywood, when we are telling the same stories as they are telling? You cannot teach anybody how to be romantic. But the Ashanti story, the dance story, the fancy, the ever story, they are authentic stories. I mean, it is shocking that till date, no one has done anything on Yasantwa. No, if the story is compelling and if it's compelling and exciting, you don't need to go and look for the money. Netflix will put the money in. They will produce it and call it a Netflix original. They will adopt it. Yet a horse will be a free America. And now baby, Aba Yasantwa movie. And now say Confranoche or the gentleman who brought cocoa, Fernando Po. Fernando Po, no, they buy. You know, somebody will come and do the story and will sit back and criticize the story. But I loved what happened there, and you have to give so much credit to. And what does it credit to the Ashanti Kingdom because it was what sort of finding a way to reconcile tradition and modernity because you wouldn't expect certain things to be on TV because they were sacred, but they allowed it. They allowed it because they want to tell their to show their dominance, to show how powerful they are. It's what you check right now in your Santinia. And you it's nice. And also, what even made it very beautiful, and it speaks to the wisdom of His Royal Majesty the King, is the way every celebration in the kingdom unites Ghana, because people came from all walks of life, from Volta, from North, from everywhere. And so it also speaks to the unity of this country and the immense power the Ashanti King wields. And we cannot, I mean, I've seen people on social media sometimes try to say, Ashanti, I sit down. Sit somewhere. He's the Ashanti King. There is not like that in Africa. He's the most powerful king in Africa, and we have to respect it and the reverence the Ashantis and this celebration gave to the royal stool, because it's not even the man. It's the stool. You know, it's it's powerful, and we need to give reverence to the man on the stool, and I think that's what panned out perfectly well. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And kola na womu kom na me share commentary na ebana enyefe. Oh, because Empress unim bibi. Martina sie hu say yenye Christopher say ye wo ye manga ye de omusi asori dem. Ye started to think kola no ewo nyamesum eni nyamesrum efi asori dem ma omunyini. Obi anka nkyerɛ say twen ma oba nyini ansa na wa ye den. Watete no. Sansu na yenuanom traditionalists so Muslims womu nyina saa no womu tete ombanti ye den na woka catch comfort say or abuse ne ba anaso obi a odi ade say or abuse ne ba say onfa akola ni go school anase say sesebio enkola ni nyina no ye gya womu ama omu nye akom ni we ya wan na wo ba betoa ye tradition ye culture so because omu wo ho ne ebia 50 100 years to come no mu bebre ko enti enchirima wo ho a wo mo so mbeto aso a ye de be preserve your culture and your tradition no enti ye best say as people we should learn to be tolerant of enkrofo religion any niema wo mu gidi se we ye Christoni a sebio enkogina baby enkoka se sebi mpredua wo abosomsom sebio eye nkwase asem sanzo na menko gina baabi enko kire se unia kremoni a wono som no enye wo de no enu na wugidie enu na ye adwuma ma wo hweso na ye what you say then don't talk down on other people's religion because me who commentary ni bebre on social media is very distasteful enye kama your best stress say yenye ti we mi ye Christoni mi ntumi nkokasa down on somebody's religion because on also need the no we okay say obepe say obi beba wudie mu but don't talk down on other people's religion nti adesiade ni debe bebre o why besu
obeto achire wadwe amame e wo comment section aha Penyah Blog Media akra